Hello and welcome to 3 Minute Gaming. I'm Nathan, and today I'm going to tell you if this game's worth their time and bandwidth. Today's game is Starship Troopers Extermination. Come on, you apes, you want to live forever? Is this movie-based co-op shooter, now on console, worth getting your citizenship for? Let's find out. Starship Troopers Extermination is a co-op horde shooter where you and up to 15 other roughnecks need to exterminate all bugs, or die trying. The setup is pretty much standard for this type of game. You have a set number of classes, ranging from heavy tanks, medics, snipers, and so on, each with their own unique abilities and a weapon and sidearm they can equip. As you complete missions, your overall rank, class, and weapon all get XP, resulting in more passes for that class, attachments for those weapons, yada yada yada. Extermination's main gimmick is its mission types and number of players. It's all PvE, and you can have up to 16 on 2 of its mission types, a horde defense mode and a mode where you push forward and then establish a temporary base. Having 16 players, where you're split into squads of 4, makes the whole thing much more chaotic than, say, Space Marine 2 or Left 4 Dead, with tons of available overlapping classes, meaning team comp isn't as important. I mentioned base building, and this is Extermination's other big gimmick. Inspired possibly by Fortnite Classic, often you have to build a makeshift base to defend against the hordes of bugs, and keep it standing lest they burst in and destroy your precious objective, or your squad mates. It's fairly light, but a nice twist on the usual formula. Bugs come in absolute hordes, with tons of variety. While most are just melee focused and rush you, there are some fire snipers, mortar bugs, and devastating artillery bugs that will blow your bases up. Probably the funniest gimmick is every enemy corpse persists and takes physical space on the battlefield, meaning after a few waves of horde, the outside of the base is several feet deep in bug corpses you could just run on top of. This also affects gameplay, as an open gate filled with corpses won't close. All missions gain intel, which progresses the overall progress for the community, though it's really just filling a meter and nothing as deep as, say, Helldivers 2 Many-Fronted War Map. And really, that's Starship Troopers Extermination, a game that doesn't deviate much from the standard co-op horde shooter, but it does try some new things with base building, large team battles, and corpses everywhere. What I like about Starship Troopers Extermination? Well, the game manages the look and feel of Starship Troopers quite well, with all the bug types that are represented from the movie, little snippets of that movie's satirical edge, and hordes upon hordes of enemies. Additionally, the 16-player missions are absolute chaos in the best way, with bug corpses everywhere, people going nuts trying to stay alive and help their team, and some surprisingly great team tactics via emergent gameplay. And lastly, the general loop is fun, with the usual stuff like classes, rank, and weapons all having XP bars, but unlike a lot of games of this ilk, the XP comes really fast, meaning you're constantly getting new upgrades and equips, and it really encourages you to try other things. When it comes to the bad, this game is still really janky and rough, despite technically being out of early access. I got stuck in environments, fell through the environment, had bugs spawn in and out of nowhere, warp around the map, Xbox crashed more than a few times, and certain missions always disconnected me from the server. It's still very rough. Additionally, for all its cool ideas, none of them really feel that fleshed out. Base building is neat, but only a few missions use it, and it's very basic. The single-player campaign was completely canceled, replaced instead with some tutorial missions, and an entire snow planet with sets of missions are locked behind playing with companies. It's bizarre. Lastly, on release, the price did a massive jump from $30 to $50, with $40 of very mediocre cosmetic DLC, making this more expensive than the better Helldivers 2. Not only is this really greedy, the amount of content between early access and 1.0 doesn't merit almost doubling the price, especially considering this game is still extremely jank. As you know, I rate games here on a 3-point scale: must play, maybe consider, and don't bother. And Starship Troopers Extermination is a fun PvE team shooter with more than a few unique ideas, marred by it being still incredibly janky despite claiming to be 1.0. That being said, it's good enough time with friends or just randos, so if you crave EDF but wish it somehow had more issues, Starship Troopers Extermination is definitely worth checking out on sale. And that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you played or heard of Starship Troopers Extermination, I've been playing it since the beginning. It's exciting that it's finally in 1.0, even if that doesn't mean much, but let me know what you think in the comments. And regardless, go up there, and if you've got friends, maybe give this one a look.